hello. Good evening, everybody. We are live with Mama Coco. My name is Cora Pantin, and I stand here and sit here this evening in the presence of our God Jehovah, thanking him firstly for life, thanking him for spared lives among us all. I welcome all my guests this evening, and I also welcome my audience. My audience is a specific but not direct. I have people from all around the world that listen to Mama Coco, of which I am very happy and proud to be such a person in this world where I can speak and people listen and people want to really be part of this experience. Welcome again to Live with Mama Coco, Saturday evening. We trust that God will continue to be with us. He will chaperone me and my show. Tonight we have an exclusive panel. We have Dr. Lashley on our panel this evening. We have Brother Anthony James, everyone getting to know him on Mama Coco Life and Style. He creates a very deep impact, and we are always glad to have him. And we have, again here, we also have, yes, Dr. Professor Earl Henry, and we are so proud to have him. We are so proud to have a Trinidad and Tobago citizen that never seems to stop being engaged in doing things that would impress himself and all those who get to know him. He is a professor. He's also a doctor. And tonight we will know about our doctors. They are not medical doctors, so to speak, but Dr. Earl Henry, he has some clinical training. Then we also have one of our favorites here, Avanell Hazel. Avanell Hazel, she's guest sometimes. She's co-host sometimes. Tonight she's gonna act the both roles. Yes, and I'm so proud to have her. Tonight you guys will get to know her some more. I pray that God help us tonight. Father, in your care we declare peace, and in your presence we know that you are here for us. You said in all our ways to acknowledge you, and you will direct our path. Tonight, oh God, as we ask you to direct our path, to keep us in perfect peace, keep us in harmony, and keep us safe in your care. Because in your care, we know that we have to do your will. Because your will must be done on earth before it can be done in heaven. So all those of us who are just preparing ourselves to go to heaven, but we're not preparing ourselves how to live on earth, Father God, I ask you for your companionship and your guidance. Amen. So without further ado, we also are going to have Dr. Cindy Duke. She will be part of our discussion team. She will come in off and on. If I ask for her, she will come, or if she is on there, because I know she is part of the production team. This show was produced and edited weekly by Dr. Cindy Duke and her company. Yes. Gripsy Girls. Yes. Father, clarity with precision, we ask. Amen. So welcome, Avanell Hazel, to Mama Coco Life and Style.
Good night, Mama Coco. Good night, esteemed guests on the panels, and also to my audience, the audience tuned in every Saturday faithfully. We welcome all the new people. Thank you so much. It's a blessing tonight.
Welcome, welcome. We're also going to be welcoming my brother, Anthony James, to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I hope we can have a productive enlightening, progressive program tonight.
Yes, you are welcome, and I want to let the guests, I want to let the audience know, and even some of my guests, that this area you already established yourself as a very esteemed guy when it comes to logistic, and even the way in which our country should show up itself in the future. I bring you here because I have questions concerning who can do more to establish peace amongst our races. And I know that because of who you are and how you trust in your actions and your behavior, we know that we are going to get great response from you. Why? In all thy ways you acknowledge God. And in all your ways you acknowledge God. So he's going to direct your path. You will do your best. I am proud to know that you will do your best. So here we have Dr. Lashley. Welcome to Mama Coco Life and Style.
It's a pleasure being here this afternoon. Mama Coco once more. It's great to hear the voices of Trinidad and Tobago on this interesting and exclusive issue. I trust that we can come to some resolutions this evening to offer our public and to receive from them also some suggestions.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. Your show, the show with you, and the show with you and the other Dr. Professor Earl Henry. Welcome. The show with you and him is long overdue since November. Since November, your shows were postponed 2, 3, 4 times. So here we are this evening. We are excited and elated to have you here. I just bring an additional male to join you guys because I know what he can bring to this show. So, without further ado, welcome to each and every one on Mama Coco Life. Are you guys ready?
We can hear you.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome to the show, Anthony James, Avanell Hazel, Professor Earl, and Dr. Lashley. Here we are. Welcome back to Mama Coco Life and Style. I want to play a song so that we all can know that this is not a new day story. We all know where we came from. We all know what is expected from us. As long as you're a Trinidadian, whether you come there naturalized or whatever, you were born there, listen to this song. Waiting on the song. God bless you. I send it for you, Cindy.
It's okay.
So this song that we are about to hear, God bless our nation. I want this song to play so everyone, every Trinidadian, wherever in the world you are this hour of the night, we are going to know this song and know how much this song is part of our nation. It's part of our freedom call. God bless our nation of many varied races. Come on now. May we possess that common love that binds and makes us one. So from the beginning, we know the song. And I can't understand why we are so far from living the way the song says. Now, we are living, believing that we don't know about other races, and we're behaving as if our race is the only race and should be the dominant race. No. Of many varied or various races. And it says, may we possess, may we have within us, may it be embedded in us. That we should come together as one for unity. Do we have the song? I want Trinidadians, before anybody else get engaged, before the president know that she has the right to be addressing the nation and addressing this subject every time before an election. We're not here to ostracize or to assassinate anyone. We're not here tonight to talk about one political party. Politics have its way destroying our togetherness. We use election time to make way for hatred in order for us to get voted into power. The political party get into power, they start to use the race card. They give their race alone everything and give them the opportunity to get into stuff. So let's play the song.
Nation, bless a nation of many varied races, where we possess that common love that binds and makes us one. Let it be known around the world that we can boast of unity and take on in our liberty. Of tropic beauty, of living on sea and the shady sparkling water that break upon our shore. That seem to tell we take on in our liberty.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So much. Thank you so much. Tears came from my eyes. Because I think we need to be in arguments. I don't think we should sit here now and have to be fighting with each other just to share a story concerning our liberties, our freedom, and our pride. We're not supposed to be here trying to argue with an Indian person or an Indian person arguing with us. We're not supposed to be arguing about Chinese. We're not supposed to be arguing about Syria. We are a nation of many varied races. And to say that we have to use racism in order for us to share our views and to accomplish in Trinidad and Tobago, or to learn how to vote and why we should vote, or to learn how a political party should treat the people of Trinidad and Tobago, not to treat a race. That we shouldn't use the race card as a weapon of mass destruction. It was there before us, many of us. It was there with me. I was born in 1956 when two races started this foolishness, and they make this song, but none of them get ready to live by the properties of this song. Welcome to Mama Coco Life and Style. I hope I have put out the directive. Many of us, we don't have to like it, but it's there. That anywhere around the world that we are, people who live in home should not be telling us we don't have a say. Hello, am I speaking? Is anywhere all over the world we are, we're supposed to be speaking of the liberty. People supposed to understand us. People supposed to know us. People supposed to respect us, and we supposed to respect people and respect our pledge. So welcome to Mama Coco Life and Style. Anthony, so can my co-host guest read this question here? I know Dr. Lashley is not here, but you will read the question.
Anthony, Avanel, Professor Earl, and Dr. Lashley, please introduce yourselves to the audience and your interest in speaking on this particular issue.
So we will go with Dr. Professor Earl Henry.
Well, hello and good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mama Coco. I want to thank you so much for inviting me. I always look forward to this panel. I want to thank Dr. Cindy Duke for inviting me, and I am so happy to be here with this very esteemed panel.
Yes.
Mr. James, I've listened to him over the weeks, and he has shared. Avanel also, so much to share. I am gratified. I had the privilege of meeting Dr. Lashley a number of years ago at a health summit in Orlando, Florida. You see, we are both Seventh-day Adventists, and he not remember me, but he know my cousins, the Archers, Len Archer and Junior. They are my first cousins. So, Dr. Lashley, I am happy to be on the same panel with you.
Same here.
I think Mama Coco put her finger up and she left.
She'll be back.
Should I continue speaking?
Yes.
And so I want to say how privileged I think I am to sit with the other esteemed guests on this panel to discuss a very important topic. Now, why am I interested in this particular issue? I was born in a multiracial country, perhaps the most multiracial country in the Caribbean. And so because of that, I have always had an interest in understanding the other races of people. Trinidad and Tobago, multicultural, multiracial, twin island state. We have Indians and whites and Portuguese and Lebanese, and now we have a big Filipino community in Trinidad. We have a Korean community. I understand there's even a small Japanese in Trinidad. So it's a very cosmopolitan country. And because I grew up in that cosmopolitan environment, so to speak, I've always had a deep interest in understanding why people cannot get along with each other, or why they do. And so that's my to you, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful and lively and educational discussion. I know I'm going to learn a lot. I've learned a lot from Avanel and Mr. James, and of course, Dr. Lashley is a man of a lot of knowledge. He has a depth of knowledge, and so thank you for.
You guys know that I'm not really at my home. I'm still in the hotel. So we're having some little in and outs here. So now I'm going to call on Brother Anthony James. You know, he's living there still right now. He participates in a lot of discussion concerning politics and the way of life to Tobagonians and what we should expect and how we should behave. So, Brother Anthony, can you tell us who you are and what you intend to share with us on this show? Welcome.
The name is Anthony James, as we would have learned. I will take it from first of all, from a Tobago perspective. But even before that, the premise of the song, I think the intent is good. The intent, philosophy is good. But I will have to question some of the words of the song, as if the song speaks of different races. And that in itself tends to speak to an artificial or made up division, because the truth of the matter is that there aren't different races in the world. I guess the author meant to speak of the different ethnicities that constitute Tobago and Trinidad. I guess that. And there's beauty in diversity, because we can learn so much from the diversity of humanity. And it all comes from God. I mean, it would have been quite boring, you know, quite unexciting to have one set or one kind of people in the world. God is a God of taste, and all the different ethnicities, and I would want to say the different cultures.
Someone have something playing. Can you guys take it off? Silence your phone, please. Thank you. Yes, go ahead, Brother Anthony.
Yeah, so the different ethnicities, and I will add to that culture, they all have something of value to make a better society, to make a better world. But of course, you know, in anything, I don't know if I should speak further, but in anything, it begins with understanding who we are, accepting who we are, and to approach our behavior, so to speak, from a perspective of justice, of love, and fairness. I'll pause there for now.
You'll pause there for now. Well, your contribution is really, it's accepted, and you are on the right track, speaking about how we can use the song and stay on track. We will add certain things in the song, but because we are not a people of following rules, we try to follow laws that doesn't help everyone at the same time. So I am here, and tonight we are going to have a discussion. So we are going to go now to Dr. Lashley.
Can't hear.
Me now?
So Dr. Lashley,
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm here because I have cosmopolitan interests. My mother is Guyanese, my father is Barbadian, my wife is Belizean, and my children are born in Jamaica, Trinidad, and the United States. And so what this tells me right away is...
Dr. Lashley,
can you hear me?
enter yourself in the camera. You are one-sided, yes.
I am. Is it better now?
It is better now. Continue.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
So I'm here because I have a cosmopolitan background. I grew up in Trinidad. I worked in Trinidad as president of the University of the Southern Caribbean. My parents went there in the 1940s. And so I've seen how the Caribbean has developed over time. My own study has led me to higher education leadership. I've been president of 3 Adventist colleges in the United States and in the Caribbean. In addition, I have studied business. I have done 2 law degrees. I've done a master's in history. I've specialized in history of the Caribbean and history of the Americas. And so as I look at the whole spectrum, my thought tonight would be to say, here we can forge out of all these different peoples a national identity that can be translated into what we teach in the schools, what we practice in businesses. If we go about this in a deliberate fashion, something good will come out of it. If we leave it to chance, anything may happen. I notice that Trinidad is especially poised. Japanese now, Chinese, of course, you've had those. But Spanish people, you're going to get a lot of people influxing now from Venezuela and Colombia. We are a country that's truly a melting pot, and we must find a way to work together. And my theory is this can be done if we deliberately plan our educational program so that from birth and beyond, every citizen and resident of Trinidad and Tobago can understand how to work together. It cannot be left to chance. It must be planned, implemented, and supported as we move into a world that's unusual and that's diverse. That's my opening statement.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lashley. Thanks to all those who came before speaking, and now we have our sister Avanell Hazel. Avanell, you saw the question, you read it yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Avanell Hazel, nee Keithlyn Orr, or as Avi, as everyone calls me. I have footprints in the villages of Speyside, Delaford, and Roxborough. Race is a huge topic for me, mainly for the fact that I am of a multiracial relationship. My husband is Caucasian or a white man, and I have multiracial children. Over the years, growing up as a child, I've always known Trinidad and Tobago to be highly multicultural, always inclusive, always open to others. We have tourists that comes to our country and we welcome them open-handedly. We don't treat them any different. And I would love to see that within our own simple community, that we're treating our brothers and sisters, whether they be, Indian or Hispanic or, Saudis, like whatever they be. I wish that same level of inclusion transfers within our own community. I would like to say that, it is important that we use our values, because we were raised with strong values and morals. And it's very important that we use our values as bridges rather than using them to separate us. And, getting that rhetoric that we're using, that constant rhetoric of putting down somebody or, basically discriminating against that person based on their races isn't something anyone should want to do. We should be very inclusive.
Yes. And about this song, have you ever dissect that song word for word and how much we have to live away from it?
Absolutely. This is a song we've all sang in school, so everyone should know this song word for word. And we should pride ourselves as very blessed, because to have this one country that has a little bit, like I call it the melting pot, the Kalaloo, to have a little bit of everything within it, and to have a level of unity, or the unity which we once had, I think that is absolutely important for us to follow the words of this song. I don't think that there's anything outside of the words of this song that we shouldn't live by. Those values and codes within that song, every single word should take all of us. Let it be known around the world that we can boast of unity. Can we say that today? Can we boast of that unity we once had?
Hey, you sir.
I can tell you an experience I had when I first came to United States, I, to be honest with you, didn't know that racism even existed until I came to this country. And it's not because of miseducation. I always boasted and felt like we were a together people, a set of together people. And it could have been because of my upbringing in Tobago. But I always felt like we were a together people. And when I came to the United States, I realized a lot of biases, unknown biases we all held. And it's not sometimes out of, we're not conscious of it. We're not conscious of those biases, and we don't necessarily mean it. But if we have to take others into consideration and know the way we feel and the things we say and the things we do, how it can impact them, I think the minute we put ourselves in someone else's shoes, it will benefit us tremendously.
Thank you. Well, to everyone, that was our first question, and I know someone might have something to say, but we have to take the show on the road. So, Avanel, can you read this to Anthony, Avanel, Professor Earl, Dr. Lashley, and audience? Tonight's show is an exploration and discussion, right? We are discussing tonight, not a debate, it's not an argument, but a discussion of race relations in Trinidad and Tobago. How can we decrease / eliminate its impact on politics? I think I'm going with Mr. James first. Mr. James, take the floor. You are the man of politics, and let me see where you would go with this question that's yours to have right now. Take it away.
Well, first of all, the direction of a society, up or down, across, as the case would be, hinges on leadership. And any society, hopefully a nation, must have a philosophy, a goal, an objective. What type of society do you want to achieve? And the leadership has to be conscious of the makeup of the society. First of all, because you might have a monolithic society, you can have a cosmopolitan society. I tend to think that as a microcosm, meaning to say a society with virtually all the components.
Brother Anthony, someone have something playing. Can anyone who knows what's happening rectify that? I'm getting feedback of another song. Now it's gone. So go ahead, Brother Anthony, and you will define what relationship that what society we have in Trinidad.
Right. So as I said, Trinidad is our microcosm, right? Is a society with all the dynamics, all the ethnic dynamics of the world. No, my understanding does not permit me to use race in the way it was presented in the song, because I mean racism on the whole, or race, came about as a system of it's really a class system. In fact, in the beginning of the notion of race, it included people of different ethnicities when you do the research. So it wasn't really about European people who are branded as white. It was really those settlers in America who belonged to a certain class. In fact, there was a case in point where the Moors, they wanted, as the system evolved, they wanted to brand the Moors from Morocco as black. And the Moors rejected that because they understood that classification to be backward. So that the terminologies, white and black and colored people and so on, really, that was not really referring to any color of anybody, because African people are not black in color. They have strong melanin and they have different shades. European people are not white in color. We need to understand that. And we need to stop repeating those things, because those things are very dangerous. Because words have spirit inside them, and death and life lies in the power of the tongue. So sometimes people can become trapped by their own language. And I know that is happening in America, because African people have misunderstood that story. It is the most misunderstood story. And clearly, when you examine it, you realize that we have some mental problems. If you look at a person who is pink in color, close to pink in color, and call that person white, then we have a real mental problem, because ABC. You have never seen a person as white as their teeth. So it was speaking about something else. And we need to be true, because education is about the truth. You feel what I'm saying? So we need to understand that that whole story was created in the 17th century by Europeans in America. I'll leave that there for now, but let us deal with what's going on in Trinidad. Avanel would have said that the unity that we had. I'm not so sure about that. The song also speaks of the different isles. So we have two isles with two different cultures, two different histories, I might say. And there's always been antagonism between Tobago and Trinidad. In fact, if you're going to have a philosophy, the philosophy of the song that I said is beautiful. The philosophy of the anthem also is beautiful, the anthem. But you will have that philosophy in a song, but what about the philosophy of the Constitution? Did we spend time to analyze the Constitution? Because I said the Constitution is saying who wins Trinidad, Tobago is lining up. And Tobago has never really actualized. The world doesn't know about Tobago. I have friends abroad who work in very high places, and they identify themselves as Trinidadians. Now, I'm very fiercely proud about my Tobagonianness. I'm a Tobagonian birth until I die.
Brother James, this is a very deep conversation that we are having.
Very much so.
We ask a defined conversation.
Yeah? Repeat that question for me.
So politics in our race conversations and how we handle our race.
Yeah. Well, we don't have the racial concerns that Trinidad has. Tobago really doesn't have it. But if you accept the notion that there are no really, in terms of human makeup, there are no different races. If we accept that as a basis, then when you describe racism really is a concept of discrimination amongst or within humanity. So you can have a group of people that discriminates against the other, and part of the foundation or the basis for discriminating, you have to have power also, in whatever sense, whether economic power, political power, in order to discriminate against somebody. You can't discriminate against somebody if you do not have the power to do it. Now, in 1986, when the NAR, if you remember that history, came together, the entire diversity of Tobago and Trinidad was very ecstatic and very hopeful. In fact, Robinson did something really beautiful. In fact, the circumstances lend themselves to that, in the sense that the cabinet, if you look at the cabinet that he constructed, the cabinet was really, it was balanced and it reflected Trinidad. You can also say he reflected Tobago to some degree, but that was his intent. In fact, there were problems because he removed Ellis Clark from the presidency and gave Trinidad and Tobago, quote unquote, his first president of East India. So that Robertson had a sense of, the characteristic, the ethnic, not racial, that's something else, the ethnic composition of what Trinidad and Tobago is, and he tried to live and effect decision policies, to reflect that.
Well, in our green room we said 5 minutes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Your 5 minutes expired about a minute and a half ago, but I still want you to break down everything that you just said and answer the last part of this question. How can we decrease or eliminate its impact on politics? So you will get a chance to answer that question another time right here. But right now we're moving on now to Dr. Lashley. And Dr. Lashley, we spoke above, but the question here is, how can we impact or eliminate, decrease or eliminate racism in politics? I thought first because he's that guy who speaks on politics.
Okay, my thesis has been that to eliminate this situation in Trinidad and Tobago.
Can you raise your voice?
Can you hear me? To eliminate this situation in Trinidad and Tobago, we must begin with the educational system from cradle all the way through. Because if we don't do that,
so Dr. Lashley, 1 minute. I think you are the one with the background noise.
I'm the one with the what?
You are the one with the background noises. What do you have playing?
Nothing. There's no noise where I'm at. There's no noise where I am.
Okay. Go ahead now.
Okay, what I'm saying is that my approach has been this. Because we're a nation of many ethnicities, and it's developing all the time. We have different people coming to Trinidad, people from other islands, from other countries. We must have a system and a solution to handle this influx. And my suggestion has been that at the deepest structural level of society, that is the schools to start with, we should have a curriculum that envelops the differences among us so that the children can learn how to work alongside with other groups in their culture. We're not really doing that. If you look at our curriculum specifically, you will see that that's not happening. If it does not happen at the schools, then it's not going to spread. And from the university all the way down to the kindergarten schools, all the way down to any learning group, it should be mandatory that certain courses are taught, certain internships are entered into, certain mentorships are entered into, so that we can learn from each other. Having done that, and it's a continuous process, I'd expect that the banks and other financial institutions to provide capital to young entrepreneurs across the ethnicities to be able to start small businesses or whatever they desire to start. That's another situation. Access to capital, access to mentorships, access to internships, access to education. So let's look at CXC. What does CXC?
Even access to scholarships?
Same thing, that's right. You look at the structure of CXC. What does CXC teach us for Trinidad and Tobago? What does it have in history and the curriculum that will make us work together better in more harmony? That's where we need to also start. So if we touch education, educational reform at every level, not just how students are taught, but how the colleges teach people to teach.
Dr. Lashley,
yes.
we have a question on education coming up. This
Okay.
is very important that you bring this part up when that question is here.
I will.
We are willing. We're not here to talk mainly on race itself. It's there. But then we are here to see how we start to engage in solutions.
And for me, that's one solution. I like to see structural change at that level, whether it's a parliament. I like to see change at that level. Now we can also do changes through the churches, through groups. We can talk about the issue.
This is the question on politics. So we do have answers ready, but this one here is to eliminate its impact on politics. So I want to thank you for what you said there on politics. Your chance again.
Sure. Can you repeat that question? This part here. Repeat the question again on politics that you specifically wanted.
How can we decrease / eliminate its impact on politics? But we are going now to Dr. Earl.